This is the problem training video for the 11.4.1 TouchWorks upgrade. You can see I have a patient pulled up, and I'm going to expand the problem tab to make it a bit easier to view. You can see that the problems are still displayed here on the left. You can see the ICD-9 code displayed in the middle. If documented, you can see the managed by provider here, as well as the date that it was last assessed, as well as the user that last assessed that problem. The first enhancement that I like to speak about is this here called My Priority. This enhancement simply allows users, specifically providers, to organize the active problem list by putting the problems that they feel necessary up top underneath this My Priority section, while still displaying the other problems down here underneath the other problems. You can add a problem to the My Priority section by simply selecting that problem and clicking this button here, Add to My Priority, moving that problem from the Other Problem section up to the My Priority section. You can do that in reverse by selecting a problem and clicking Remove from My Priority, removing that problem from the My Priority section, putting it back down to the Other Problem section. There are a few right-click functions that we would like to address in this video. First being Refine Problem. If you need to refine a problem, you can simply select Refine Problem, search for new problem, opening up a search dialog window, allowing you to search for that new problem. You can change the type from acute to chronic, or vice versa. You can make this problem secondary to an active problem, or search for a new problem. The same with transition to. You can transition this problem to an active problem, or search for a new problem to transition to. And the last item, New Instance. You can select New Instance. This simply copies that problem and re-enters it on the active problem list, as well as entering a history in the past medical history seen here in pink. I'm going to jump back to active problems and commit the changes I have made. The next enhancement that I would like to speak about is the one-click edit. The one-click edit icon looks very similar to a pencil. If you click on that icon, it will simply open up the problem detail screen. Inside that problem detail screen, we are encouraging all providers to use these three fields seen here. The first being the description, which is a brief description of the patient's problems. You are allowed to edit this text anytime you feel necessary. The second is impressions. It will display all past impressions, the date, who entered the impression, and the text that they have entered. It will also give you a current text box of the current impression of that problem. You are able to copy the last, which will copy forward the last impression, seen here. I'm going to simply remove it because I'm going to enter in my own impression. Down below, you are able to enter in the managed by provider, the provider that is managing that problem. You can enter in an onset date here, as well as a resolved date here. You can see the date that it was last assessed, as well as the date last reviewed. The last item that I'd like to bring attention to in this screen is this link here called Assessment History. If you click on this assessment history, it will display a list of all the times that this problem has been assessed. If there is a note with that visit, it will display this icon here, and you can simply click this icon to open that note. And we can open up the 24th as well. I'm just going to OK out of this window. If an impression has been documented in the one-click edit, you will be able to expand that problem and quickly see the description, the date of the last impression, as well as the text of the last impression. I use diabetes to demonstrate how to document an impression. Please note that it is not required to document an impression on every problem for every visit. This functionality was designed for providers to have the ability to document significant changes in a patient's problem or to document any lab or procedures inside the problem as providers feel necessary. Most of our providers assess problems from their note, so I'm going to move over and open a note and show how to assess a problem. To assess a problem, you simply click on Assessment and select Add. It will open up the Add Clinical Item window. Please note that it will pull through the My Priority section as well as the one-click edit icon. The left side, you will note, is a bit different, now making the active problems one long running list. We have created this folder for you called Smoking Status. If you select Smoking Status, it will display all problems that will satisfy the meaningful use measure to record the smoking status, making it easy for providers and clinical staff to document the smoking status on all patients. You are now able to assess and add a problem with one click. If I was going to add abscess of back, I can simply select this icon here, which will assess and add the problem at the same time. Then you can follow through with the one-click edit, adding a quick description of the problem, as well as a current impression. Oop, I spelled it wrong. You can select the provider managed by. I'm just going to pick the first one I see, and I'm going to select Save and Return. I'd like to also note that you are able to use a quick list. You can build a quick list of problems that you use most often by simply clicking the quick list icon on and off. I would like to also demonstrate the short key for searching for problems. So for congestive heart failure, you can search CHF and click the binoculars, and we'll pull up several congestive heart failure problems. And it will work for most shorthand problems. I do want to point out one more item, which is this expansion here. If you expand any of these problems out, it will display the laterality. So you can select both eyes, left eye, right eye, or unspecified laterality here. Now that we're done adding or searching for problems, we're going to simply click OK. It will display the problem that we assessed, as well as if you added any impressions here, as well as who entered the impression. I'm going to go ahead and save my changes and commit them. This concludes the problem training video. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.